There we go. But
Curtis is also looking up at the camera taking the picture there, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Which none of the killer 7 ever look up at the camera when they.
Well, the first time it happens with Garcian and Dan. That's the only time I can remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
then it is exactly the same.
So it's really neat. There are a lot of even like intra-referentially, or self-referentially, as I might say, self-referentially sort of like reinforces the identification of each character, and it separates it by about 2 other chapters that, like kind of like DJ was talking about last week. The chapters seem episodic and almost like digressions from the game itself. But then you have here, which this sort of connects. It connects in a broader sense to the problem of the Heaven Smiles, and maybe sort of like how structurally or organizationally they are funded and supported, because Curtis and the Department of Immigration and whatever are responsible for making them according to this iteration of their backstory. But so it is episodic and connected in that way, but it also uses a lot of these other smaller nods, like that opening sequence and this photograph and things like that, to connect it to what has already passed. It's also kind of interesting if Curtis is if Curtis is this sort of like mentor or tutorial figure. It's interesting that he is connected back to the part of the game that is in itself a tutorial. So it's sort of like it almost by that choice of reference, it reinforces the player's sense of beginnings, which I imagine is what Curtis is to Dan.
Yeah, well, and it means that Curtis, the player too, even though this is the first encounter the players had with Curtis. I mean, it's interesting that way.
Encounter indeed.
Encounter.
I also really like, I don't know how well it comes off on the stream, but it's like when you're looking at the Heaven Smiles, even... Oh, no, don't do that. Okay.
It's nice to hear your reactions before we see what's happening.
I feel like it creates a sense of post-ironic drama. I don't even know what that means, but
it creates a disconnect between our actions and your actions.
Yeah, totally.
What shows up on stream?
I wonder why this Smile decided to wear these bracelets. Like why?
He's totally punk.
He is. Well, I can't argue with that. Just like Suda himself. Oh, Dan's voice selection during the second half of the encounter is so good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that shortly. See, there's this guy right here, and I never really know how to get him.
Oh, the Camellia Smile.
Yeah. Where's your sweet spot? There we go. Whoa, hi. Well, that could have gone better.
Jeez.
Yeah. Pro strats right here, brother. Guys.
How about that counterattack, Eddie?
No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm so good at it right now.
Hey, you killed one.
How could I have... Oh my god.
Oh, it's lovely when you miss with the collateral trap.
I know. You feel like such a pro. Like, this is the moment I've been waiting for in video games. Run!
Might be a bit close.
Yeah, that's my feeling on it too right now. Yeah, I thought Dan was my go-to guy. Why is Dan terrible now? Not my responsibility. I also really like how the, if you can see the texture of the horizontal and vertical lines that sort of, God, I hate when I blow off the limb that has got the, I hate when I am terrible at this game. Oh my God! How do I not reload with the enemy in front of me? This is too easy, Dan. Keep telling yourself that. Dan, you're embarrassing me in front of all my friends. This is just awful.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
It's clearly console error.
That's what I think. Okay, Khan is clearly an ideal choice here. Man, that sound when you hit them before you scan, that is genuinely unsettling.
That particular laugh happens when you shoot them while they're still invisible.
Yes. This is a little trick that you can do that I don't know how many people know about, but if you just go to the pause screen when it's going to explode and blind you, you can actually wait it out. I don't think it works for the micro smiles, though. There we go. Madchester?
I can't even see it.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I hope that Jarrell, at some later point, oh yes, this is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Also the last Travis shirt, right? Because he was facing away from us.
Yes, yes. This is really interesting because it's interesting that they say that Pedro is connected to the Self-Defense Force, because that is Japanese National Guard. That is that's very strange language to use unless he's actually referring to the SDF, or if he's like trying to refer to, he's using this weird Japanese phrasing to refer to the National Guard. They also refer to places to they also refer to cabinets and stuff as ministries in this game, I recall. Which is, I mean, you know, Japan modeled its parliament and its, well, they modeled their democratic body off of, like, European models rather than American, so they have ministries rather than, what do we have? I think we just have governments. What is the analogy? What is the synonymous thing? I can't believe I'm blanking on this. It's very basic information.
I don't know if we actually even have a catch. My instinct is to say, like, bureaus, but that's not right either.
Yeah, like ministry, departments, that's it.
Department, yeah.
I was like thinking Ministry of Education, Department of Education, that's what we have. So, yeah.
Is this a bad time? I hope I'm not
I love
interrupting
this.
anything. Or am I?
don't know if you guys can hear. Well, I know you can't, but
Boy, is this a bad time? I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
when
Or
you choose
am I?
Dan, he says, "Oh, is this a bad time? I hope I'm not interrupting anything, or am I?" And which is kind of funny because I think if I think of this as being Dan's response to Khan as a default character, it's sort of like it's sort of I mean, it's kind of like how you might be an asshole to a kid, talking down to him, and yeah, they also dislike each other, so that's
Which makes some sense, I guess, right? If Khan is Coyote's sort of protectee,
Ward.
right? Khan and Coyote are connected.
Yeah, that's right. I think that Khan is regarded as kind of like Coyote's ward, in a sense.
Yeah.
I wonder now if I can hit. No. Could have sworn that I saw. See, I have such a hard time even getting a vantage point on this camellia smile. Oh, there we go. But can I hit it? All right. It worked. To everybody listening on the stream who cannot see it yet.
You spoiled it, man.
No, it was ironic. I actually lost. Oh God.
Got a hell of a lot of blood for someone who lost.
I kind of just want to think of that statement out completely out of any context, and it's really pleasant. Oh right, yeah. There's this this thing over here. Time ring. Which this interests me because it's like if the vision ring, it in a very abstract way, it connects back to my sense of 2D interfaces being used to react or interact with the 3D world, because if you think of 2D as digital and 3D as analog, ironically, because a two-dimensional space is kind of like an unnatural and in some ways non-existing kind of depth or lack of depth. It's like two-dimensionality is conceptual. It's not something that unless you are like literally monocular, then you have three-dimensional vision, and that's how you imagine things. It's sort of how a lot of our brains process physical space and the concept of it. So, but the vision ring itself is sort of like this. It's like that's what Garcian has, and that sort of unfolds like a blossom into these different kinds of into these different elemental rings. You've got wind, fire, time, water, stamina, and power, which are all. I mean, these are all quantities that exist in the physical world. So it's sort of insofar as like you have this one funnel through which you use as a transport to accessing all these other non-abstract elements. Well, even though stamina and power are abstract, but non-conceptual elements, I should say. That it's interesting because it sort of fits with a general pattern of things, multitudes being contained within singular entities. Time ring howls. And I gotta say, the hour hand on that clock is busted. Like seriously, every time the
Yeah, it doesn't really work like an actual clock, does it?
Yeah, exactly.
Then again, it's hard to tell since it doesn't really seem to have any markings denoting what time it is.
Oh no! Actually, I think that it's one of those clocks that uses the Belgian 2-hour day. That doesn't exist. I made it up. But it sounds like some kind of weird esoteric, like it sounds like something that might actually exist that somebody in some abstract sense might have used at one point. So.
Sounds more plausible than metric time.
Or metric measurements. Oh my God! I don't know if you heard about this, Hal, but this was really great. So, like, I think CBS. This is not killer7 related, but CBS, the television station here in the U.S. Used was covering, like, I think England soccer, football, and they dared. Using like I think embedded reporters who were themselves English, they dared refer to the height and stats of the football players using the metric system, and oh my God, people freaked out. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It's like dividing by 10 is like the hardest thing, and I can't believe that we were asked to even consider it. Like 1.3 meters is like an unthinkable quantity.
What is this sorcery?
I know, right?
Look, it's not a laughing matter. Metric is an attack on our heritage.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, it's an attack on your heritage. It's my heritage attacking yours. So that's I'm just harnessing it for the sake of antagonism. But why is Travis bundled up there in the fetal position?
And I was just wondering this. He referred to Curtis as the old man, which he's previously used to refer to Harmon, right?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true. I wonder if I can. That's I think no. Nope, there is no way of telling what that is.
Maybe with con.
It looks like it could, like, say who or something.
Yeah.
Say what?
Actually, that's a really
Say
good
what?
idea, Hal.
Say what? Yeah. That looks close.
Because it's definitely a Y and then a space and a WH. It looks like to me.
And can't zoom in.
Nah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Kurohashi and Akiba. Hello, dudes. I love how, like, every other character, even if, like, they have some sort of, like, crucial body damage, like, their ghosts are intact, but these guys just, like, this is what they're going to be like for eternity. They've even got their brains. They're, like, not merely ghosts of these men, but ghosts of their brains. And I kind of wonder if their brain ghosts are independent ghosts. And that tie that's the ghost of a tie.
Well, I mean, this was how they looked when they were still alive.
Yeah, but no,
In a weird, creepy way.
I really think that the tie, our will lives on. That's upsetting in its way. Oh, right, yeah, that's pretty much the only purpose of this room, besides talking to Travis. It's really interesting how you're not really given, unlike other locations, you're not really given a choice as to which direction, left or right, you go at the start of the stage. It's like this. There's just this circuit. Something that happens.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh yeah, pretty elementary, but the curtains on the stage are all the same curtains that are in the background for the character select screens, aren't they?
I think that
pattern.
It's similar, but I think
aren't they different in each room here, or has that been a weird illusion on my part?
I think that it could be. I think my impression was that the curtains for the selection were the same curtains and the same stage used at Coburn Elementary School at the end. Because that's kind of like where it all started for Garcian. Oh god, why am I still wearing... I kind of wish the time ring had some function other than... I kind of wish that the rings, besides the power and the stamina ring, had some function other than just simple, like, you know, use this to solve puzzle.
Yeah, lock and key stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Am I being... Oh god, they're everywhere.
Yeah, but they're the slow ones.
I headshot him with mask. Shut up, it's an accomplishment.
Man, you're on a roll.
Certainly doing much better with accuracy than Dan was. The guy whose main selling point is collateral damage.
Of course. Collateral damage because you can't bloody hit anything.
Yep. Collateral shot is actually killer7 shorthand for I'm so sorry. Every time he fires that off, that's actually what the killer7 know is meant.
I'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Okay, great.
No worries.
I like how it's weird. There's almost like a cathedral church quality to this, because I believe there actually is a cruciform in the center.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's see. Yeah, right there. Whoa. Oh, okay, that's the light. The polygons of the lights cutting through the polygons. Okay, that's what that is. That's kind of lovely. Soul shell carrying balloon became entangled. Got kind of a small turnout tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Wind ring howls. I kind of wonder if it owes to it having started at a different time. I wonder if folks showed up at 8 o'clock and then saw
Yeah, it could be possible.
Well, we're having a good time.
I've always been.
Sorry, go on.
I've always been confused as to what the soul shells signify. I mean, apart from Smile, where it's kind of obvious.
Right.
Like the second half of Smile, that is.
Right.
Did you ever have any thoughts on that, or because I'm clueless, honestly. In the rest of the assignments, it doesn't really seem to correspond with anything that's going on in the mission.
Yeah, excuse me. I always thought that that is so cool. The only conclusion I ever came to was that they were in some ways similar to their function in Smile. Don't do that. They were remnants of former hits, or at least significant hits, and that found it interesting that in some ways guardians of it, and also that you're essentially using them as a kind of currency for the gatekeeper. So it's almost as though by retrieving and spending them, it's almost like you're monetizing and then spending Harmon's past. I don't know. That's I don't know.
Oh, is this a bad time? I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Or am I?
Yeah, I'm gonna want
What did you
mask. Because he's going to be the one to carry us through fighting, what's her name? Ayane Blackburn. That's it.
You're gonna fight her with mask?
Yeah, that's
surprisingly, it's the easiest character to do it with.
Wow.
as long as I always use him to aim at the base of one of the light poles. Oh, this is so cool. I love his stair descending animation. Hop, 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 hop. And it's like very slow trudge up. It's like he adopts like a fighting stance.
Mm.
That's awesome.
It's the same way I used to go downstairs when I was 6.
Yeah. Kind of a sidelong gallop. Is this Protector Smile Z? No, Protector Z Smile, okay.
Adios.
Adios. Alright, this is those mother smiles.
I remember this part being somewhat tricky on my first time through.
Yeah, I do too. This was I still sort of feel.
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
That was thunder.
Oh wow, okay.
Out of nowhere.
That sounds like it caught you off guard as well. Yep. Yeah, I still harbor feelings of dread about this. So I think that is. I think that I have the same feeling.
Just something about the threat of getting the timing wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some Protector Z Smiles around here.
If I recall correctly, there's one at the top of the stairs to the left, or Freaky Funhouse, if you will.
That's where I'm gonna go. Oh, really? This is really. Wait, no, this can't be the same thing, can it? I mean, it's the same design as the marquee over the string quartet, but I didn't think I mean, I guess unless that twisty, curvy path led to a place that was facing this direction, that's very strange. It's also very strange that these lights are clearly coming from the source on the other side, but at the same time they sort of cut and overlap the marquee.
Oh yeah.
That Ishizaka string quartet, would that be the same sign you were looking at earlier?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that would indicate that really long path was... I always thought it sort of wound up and did sort of a 270-degree turn, so like maybe you were on top of something.
Huh. No, I never thought about that, but maybe that's the case.
It's a confusing bit of architecture.
Let's see if I can zoom in from a higher standpoint with Coyote. Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that is the same sign, and I don't see any other. I guess like if it were a different sign, then I don't know. You would see another set of searchlights coming from somewhere else, and here are just those.
Yeah. Interesting.
Digital rock. I love this. Come on, Coyote, grow up.
It's not her age, it's the fact that she's not wearing a mask.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Nothing personal, lady.
This has the rest.
Just a heads up, that thunderclap seems to have brought with it torrential rain, so if I disappear suddenly, that's probably what happened.
Okay, all
You
right.
got swept away.
We can
It
only
may very well happen if my internet cuts out, yeah.
we can only hope. No offense.
Be so clinically depressed that I'll throw myself in the new torrent just traveling past my house.
Let's see, is there a map of this place? That's interesting. I've never looked at
No map?
I have never looked at the map of this area before, and in fact, if okay, no, I think you're right. This is I did not know there was a map of that what do you call it? That loop around that you were talking about, but there it is. You're right. I think it does. It must elevate and deposit you at a higher level. Also, I think it's interesting that the dating here is August 18th, 2011, summer. It specifies. I guess I haven't really spent much time with this map.
I remember barely even noticing there was a map when I first played the game, to be honest. It probably would have saved me a lot of time in retrospect.
A mystery house. Oh God.
You're really liking Khan for this chapter.
Yeah, I am. He's working out really well. He's also the only of the Smiths who can duck.
That's the most elaborate way of getting under a little thing.
Oh man, yeah. I think this area has music that does actually not show up on the OST. There are a few areas like that, but
Yeah, this is that bit with the man whispering in Japanese, isn't it?
yes.
It's somewhat slurred, you can't quite make it out, but it sounds like a question.
Now I heard. There we go. There we go. I wonder, this maze of hell, does it loop around at all? Or does it just dead end? You know, I've never actually gone through it to the end.
It just loops around if you don't find the crack in the wall.
Huh. Oh, behind me. Those shoes, man. Those shoes and those pants. Lucha Libre's
Sweet
got
kicks.
style. That's right. I wonder if they give kids like complimentary like grenade launchers when they enter this, or if you just have to bring your own and hope for the best.
I think a mask might be more appropriate, but
Squeaker's attack. Oh man, I don't know. What do I want to do? Do I want to use skill and hit this with Coyote, or do I want?
I always just use con.
This looks like a distorted version of the tutorial room.
You know, you're right. It does.
Lightly.
Yeah. I mean, same layout idea, at least.
This is how I always handle this. I imagine others do as well. Huh.
I actually had no idea you could do that.
Oh, really? Interesting. There's this kind of like, I'm gonna turn the music up for those who can't, those who can have the luxury of listening. But there's a sort of like demurred single xylophone chiming version of the Ishizaka Land song that's going on in the background right now that I don't think plays anywhere else. So I'm going to turn this up.
Reminds me of the music box version that plays at the end of the part 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So let's bring this back. Hello, Rybot. And yeah, definitely. I find it's strange and burning hot hell. It's strange and unexpected how like it goes from this sort of like schlocky what do you call it? Kind of amusement park music box chiming. Vacillates between that and some pretty groovy, unexpected music. I kind of wonder if Mask is an ideal choice for this. Holy crap! I didn't get hit. Frankly, I was not prepared for that reality. There we go.
These have my vote for most annoying spam in the game.
Yeah, especially in Coburn later on. Like, so I think Kess Bloody Sunday shows up here. Yeah, there he is.
Well, actually, it's a tie vote between that one and the laser smile.
Galactic Tomahawk Smile. Is that it? No. The one that's bound up to the stake or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I just think it shows up during the Handsome Men chapter. Yeah.
Mm.
Especially since I believe the laser can actually hit you through through walls and stuff.
It might be able to,
Oh God!
but I think that...
Excuse me. Everything is fine.
Alright.
I see.
Yeah. This work? That's right. I'm going to be sniping with mask. This area's music always makes me think of God Hand. Specifically the like weird Venetian level in God Hand.
Mm.
Maybe Mask isn't best for this.
No, you don't understand.
Oh.
Grenade launchers are not accurate.
Says you. Oh, there's one more. No, like I said, like I snipe with a shotgun and my grenade launchers. Alright. I'll spare everyone my own personal grudge. Not grudge.
Oh no, you can't stop now.
Yeah, you've almost got the achievement.
No, see, I think this is where we all learn a story about gender neutrality that Coyote has to pick up, where Mask cannot succeed, and we all discover that we have our own spheres of action, and it winds up reinforcing existing stereotypes. Freaky Funhouse and Spinny Spinny, which and yeah, Rybot is. I agree that God Hand's music does have a carnival feel to it. Oh right, you have to hit Ceramic Smile in the heart, I believe. And Khan is really good at this. Really good for this too, because you can get a closer.
Myself, I just always used Kaede.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coyote, I always have such a hard time. Oh, hold on a second, Oliver. Cat decides that the best place in the house to be is on top of the Wii.
It's just so warm.
I know, right? Also, it's exactly what I want him not to do, and that's like the best thing ever to do for a cat.
What better to do than exactly what your master doesn't want you to do?
I know, right?
What is this smile doing? What's the logic behind this smile?
He's running in a
He's really stupid and really cowardly.
Okay. so he's a heaven smile that is he's the worst.
Yeah.
Because he has no hope of accomplishing what heaven smiles are supposed to accomplish.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is why they keep him cooped up in here.
Here we go. Come on, dude, I got your back. I didn't know I could do that, actually.
Actually, no, I didn't either. Usually with quote-unquote boss characters, it
Oh, yeah,
tends to
that's
stop
right.
you from doing that sort of stuff.
Oh, yes, this thing. This is pretty awesome for Dan, but I don't understand where this thing fits into the mythos whatsoever, unless it's just some sort of reference to this, the spiritual struggle over reality that is lurking in the background at all times.
I'm more interested in Dan's new gun, to be honest.
Oh, the demon gun is so good.
Yeah, you get a closer look at it, and it looks like, design-wise, it's just a plain interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cylinder has two circles of chambers for bullets.
Yes.
So, and it looks like they spin on different circumferences. I hope that's the right word.
Yeah.
And like they're both lined up with two different barrels, so that would assume that the hammer has like two prongs on it to hit both levels of the bullets.
Yes.
Gun nerd mode off.
So cool. So cool. I also like how the handle sort of like, you can see here, like kind of juts out. It's almost like it's got a heel on it. And there's the soul shell, which in game actually looks just a little bit different than it does in the profile. Like everything else, has a slight extra bit of detail.
Yeah, you can see that in outline, the way I pointed out, it looks sort of like 2D in games when you get 2D sprites that are sort of intersected to make something look 3D, like a tree.
Yeah.
And when the graphics sort of get corrupted somewhat, you start to see like the transparency. What should be transparent just turns white.
Right. Yeah.
It has that sort of effect.
I'm going to point out here with my mouse on the stream for folks who want to know what Howell's referring to. For the two cylinders that he's talking about, here's the one, which is usually what you would expect on a revolver-style gun. But then there's this one right here, and Hal, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's this one here that is sort of overlapping that at the bottom that seems to coordinate with or correspond with this bottom barrel.
When I look at it, I see one cylinder that the bullets are put into, but I'm assuming that maybe there are two like circles of bullets, if you get what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
maybe an outer circle, and an inner circle, and they rotate and they meet with the barrels at different times.
Okay,
So one bullet goes through the top, and then another goes through the bottom, top, bottom, that sort of thing. My audio is getting choppy.
Okay.
Yeah.